The Trail of Tears was the forced removal of several Native American nations from their homelands in the southern United States region during the 1830s. Throughout this time, the United States government had a series of debates due to conflicts regarding expansion and moral objections based on Christianity. To add, at the time there was a popular belief spreading across the states that colonists were destined to expand westward and spread Christianity, democracy, and their overall ways of living. This idea or belief was known as manifest destiny. In the year 1830, the Indian Removal Act was passed into law. This law allowed for the government to negotiate with tribes in regards to native land. However, the president at the time, Andrew Jackson, ignored the law and with the help of the military forced thousands of Native Americans to relocate westward. The main tribe that was subjected throughout the Trail of Tears was the Cherokee Nation. Despite this, other tribes such as the Seminole, the Chickasaw, the Choctaw, and the Creeks were also affected. The Cherokee Nation was very adamant about just handing over generations of their homeland. They had built schools, created a written language, adopted a constitution, and were so rich in culture. These were some of the ways the Cherokee tried demonstrating that they were an organized nation and could assimilate with the ways of living of the white American settlers. Then came Worcester versus Georgia, a significant case at the time, in 1832. This case led to the Supreme Court stating that the Cherokee were their own independent nation and that the state of Georgia had no authorization over the Cherokee Nation and land. Despite this ruling, President Andrew Jackson did not care to enforce the law and still pushed for the forced removal of natives. In the year 1835, the Treaty of New Echota was signed by a small unauthorized group of Cherokee people who did not represent its majority. They basically signed over all of Cherokee land in exchange for money. And this led to the forced removal of many Cherokee people. Many Native Americans resisted leaving, and even after forced removal, returned to their lands because they had a deep spiritual and cultural ties to their land. It was part of their identity, history, and cultural practices. As more and more Native nations defied forced removal, President Andrew Jackson grew to be more hostile and led U.S. soldiers to be more aggressive when forcing natives out. It got to a point where natives were being held at gunpoint to leave their homes and never return. Thousands of Native people were forced out of their homes and were forced to walk over thousands of miles, taking a long hike that many were unprepared for into what is now modern-day Oklahoma. They endured harsh weather conditions, illnesses, and insufficient food portions as they mourned the loss of their ancestral land. Natives were thrown in makeshift camps and stockades that were overcrowded and unsanitary. These conditions were disgusting and went against the Christian beliefs the United States system strongly preached. This long journey became known as the Trail of Tears, and in consequence, about 60,000 natives were forced west. And regarding the Cherokee alone, around 4,000 died from the cold, starvation, disease, and exhaustion. The Cherokee weren't the only ones, though. The Choctaw, the Creek, the Chickasaw, and the Seminole nations also faced numerous casualties during this era. The Trail of Tears is remembered as a tragic and unjust event caused by racism, greed, hypocrisy, and a government that chose expansion over humanity. It had lasting cultural and population impacts on Native nations, and to this day still affect such tribes.